Good evening, viewers. You are welcome to Clevernet TV, and I'm still your host, Promise Ebuzeme, and this is Talk with Promise. And today we'll be having a discussion on a wonderful topic which I titled "Our Lives Are Conditioned Based on How We Organize Our Thoughts and Actions." And if you've not subscribed to Clevernet TV, please subscribe to Clevernet TV at www.clevernetTV.com. Sorry. Today we have a wonderful guest in the person of Mr. Hybe Kebe. Hi, Mr. Kebe. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I
Thank you
hope
so
I'm
much.
pronouncing the name well.
It's IBKB.
Kebe. Okay, Hybe Kebe. You're welcome.
Thanks for
So,
having me.
so please tell us more about yourself. Who is Mr. Hybe Kebe?
Okay, my full name is Ibrahim Kebe. It's just IB for short. I'm a Sierra Leonean and I lecture at the University of Sierra Leone at the business school. I hold a BSc honors in business administration, first class. Um, I hold an MBA, a postgraduate diploma in quality assurance, and I'm currently pursuing my PhD in business administration. I'm an author, a youth activist, and I also have my own show, which is the Meet Professionals show, which I'm sure we're going to talk about a lot more in the show together. And I am someone who is passionate about youth mentorship and counseling, public speaking, and the rest. So, for short, that is IBKB.
Wow, beautiful. Nice to meet you, sir.
Same
Um,
here.
so tell us more about what it is to be a lecturer in the University of Sierra Leone because I know that's a big thing. So please tell us how does it feel? How did you get there? How do you become a lecturer at the University of Sierra Leone, please?
Well, that's a very good question because normally I don't get asked about those questions. How did I become a lecturer? Well, I became a lecturer when once I graduated from the University of Sierra Leone because normally the University of Sierra Leone has a culture of recruiting the best students when once they graduate. As a junior lecturer, when once you are qualified academically, then you're going to be promoted to becoming a full-time lecturer. So it all started when I am a twin. I have a twin brother. Um, Growing up, I had the vision or the idea of just being someone who can impact lives, but I didn't quite know how I'm going to do that because my twin brother was very much talented. He's more talented than me. So I was thinking, where do I fit? So when once I got to the University of Sierra Leone, um, um, I started teaching my colleagues, helping them for assignments in class and things like that. And I started liking it, teaching them, explaining to them. They started liking it too. And normally they tell me, Kibe, honestly, we understand it better than even when the lecturer was teaching us. So I got so much interested in teaching them, helping my colleagues at the time. So when once I graduated in my first degree, I graduated with the first class. So I was recruited as a research and teaching assistant, and I went on further to doing my master's program and every other thing. But it's hectic out here to be in the University of Sierra Leone, more especially you're looking at the challenges. You have a very high workload. You have a lot of classes to teach, and sometimes the structures that you may want are not readily available, and there are so many students you have to prepare to lecture, so many classes you would have to conduct your own research. So it's a bit chaotic, but what has actually kept me going was the fact that I wanted to touch lives. I wanted to give back to society. So I think that was somehow okay for me, and that's how it's been going on.
Amazing. It's wonderful to hear how you got to this position you are in. So the next question I have is so how long have you been a lecturer? How long have you been lecturing?
I've been in academia for over 5 years now. Yeah, just over 5 years. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So before we go into this today's topic, which is our lives are conditioned based on how we organize our thoughts and actions, they I feel like we need to talk more about consciousness. So what do you think about consciousness and what are the levels of consciousness?
Well, I think consciousness is very much important because it has so much to do with the success or failure of everyone. Because consciousness tells you about the things that you're doing, the way you perceive things, and more especially the way you act. Because as humans, we're all excessive and we're all guided by our thoughts and beliefs, and our actions are based on what we perceive or what we believe. So, consciousness for me has to do with the things that are innate in us that direct our actions, whether we're so acting in a way like this or we act in another way. But it's important that we understand the level because there are times we make our decisions consciously, and sometimes when I talk about strategy, when I teach students, I tell them that it's a plan. And for the fact that it's a plan, you become very much conscious when you make those plans because you cannot just wake up one morning and decide to do this. It has to be planned. It has to be conscious. It has to be guided. It needs to be tested. So consciousness is very much big, and it has so much to do with how we perceive things, and basically also how we act.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Kebe. Before we go into the today's topic, can we quickly take a break? If you have not subscribed to CleverNet TV, you have this opportunity to please sign up. There's wonderful things you can do on CleverNet TV. You can watch movies on our TV. You can blog, use the blog. You can also upload your events and so many more you can do on CleverNet TV. Please stay tuned. Thank you.
Let's sell on your behalf. If your item sells on our web shop, you pay a 10% commission plus the transaction fees, and you get the rest. Register now at www.shop.clevenard.com. Start uploading your product and services. We can really sell it on your behalf so you can carry on working on the things important to you. Are you looking to sell any type of product or service and you want to avoid the hassle involved? Selling can be an arduous and time-consuming process. At Clevenard Super Shop, we will be happy to take over the workload of promoting or selling your products or services. All you need to do is to register at www.shop.clevenard.com, enter your shop or vendor information, and then start uploading your product and services. We will do the selling. Now, be ready to get more sales and awareness. Start making more money from your business with Clevenard Super Shop by partnering with us today.
Hi viewers, you're welcome to CleverNet TV once again. And we still have a wonderful guest here with us, Mr. Kebe. We're still on the topic of our lives are conditioned based on how we organize our thoughts and actions. So Mr. Kebe, let's just get down into today's discussion. Please tell us what this discussion is all about. Thank you.
Well, it was a quotation I wrote the other day. Our lives are conditioned based on how we organize our thoughts and our actions. The basis on that is that what we perceive is what we become. In other words, whatever that we do has to be organized, it has to be planned. And if our minds are not organized, our actions will be disorganized. Because I was reading a book by John C. Maxwell, which is the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And one of the laws he wrote about was the law of intentionality, which talks about more or less how aware or how conscious we should be when we're talking about growth. And he said growth doesn't happen by accident, you know. So in other words, we need to be intentional. We need to be very much conscious about the actions that we want to take. So I also read another book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, and it talks about how important is the mind to our actions. So for me, our lives are conditioned. In other words, our lives behave based on how we organize our minds.
Starting a blog for the first time is an amazing, yet intimidating experience. Thinking that people are actually going to read, and even share, something you wrote. It's unlike any other feeling I can describe. But it's not all rainbows and butterflies. Starting a blog is hard work, and there are a lot of pitfalls along the way. Especially if it's your first time. Creating a blog account is easy and straightforward on Clevenard. Signing up is 100% free on Clevenard. Stand out online with professional bloggers. With Clevenard Blog, you can turn any idea into a reality. Don't miss the opportunity today. Tomorrow may be too late.
Welcome back, viewers, and we're still with our guest here, Mr. Kevin, and we're still speaking on our our lives are conditioned by based on how we organize our thoughts and our actions. And Mr. Kebe here was telling us more about how we condition our thoughts and our actions. Mr. Kebe, you
Yeah.
can please continue.
Okay, thank you so much, Promise. I'm here after, like I was saying, we talked about how conscious one could be, and then our actions are always guided based on our thoughts or our mindsets. And there's a famous quotation that says, "The mind is the standard of the man." So, in other words, our minds act based on what we feed the mind with, and what the mind perceive is what we act, what we give out as actions, I do a lot around the youth space in Sierra Leone here, and many a time when I engage them in some youth mentorship programs, I tell them our mindset is very much huge if we want Sierra Leone to change, if we want our continent to rise, because the way we perceive things has to do a lot with our actions, And there's another quotation I like about Wayne Dyer. He said, um, um, "Our based on how when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change." Okay, it all talks about the way we perceive things, and that was why I coined that quotation. And based on how we feed the mind, that is how our mind is going to be organized, and that will eventually direct our actions.
Yes. How can you say how do you condition your thoughts and how do you organize these thoughts and actions?
Yeah. The mind is a very powerful organ in the body, and it is so much so powerful that whatever you give it, whatever you give it to eat, it will organize it in the way that you give it to eat. So one of the things I normally do, everybody needs a goal, everybody needs a plan. You must have a purpose. So it starts by you identify what your purpose in life is. Do we have a purpose? Because if you do not have a purpose, then it becomes difficult for you to know yourself, to meet yourself, and to understand yourself. So the starting point is for you to understand and know yourself as a person. What am I made for? What purpose do I have within me that I need to develop, that I need to sharpen, that I need to add value to? So the mind again is also very much powerful. It is sitting there because it wants you to give it what it wants. And if you give it garbage, it processes the garbage again and gives you garbage. But when you give the mind something very much important, it organizes it again and gives you something very much credible. So for me, one of the things I normally tell young people is that Africans we do not read, and one of the things that is lacking in our continent we normally do not read. And one of the things I engage in all the time in my free time is to get myself in a textbook to read about growth, about mindset, about leadership, because the more we know we do not know. And the more you feed the mind with positive thoughts, the more the mind becomes positive and the more our actions becomes positive. But it all starts with you identifying yourself. Who are you? You need to know yourself. You need to meet yourself. You need to know what is it that is within you that is so powerful that the world needs to know about. And when once you know yourself, you can easily go yourself.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kevin. I'm also a youth and I'm very young. And sometimes as a young person, you get to a point in life where you feel like you don't even have a purpose. You don't even know what you want in life. So in that situation, what do you think a person can do in such situation? Because trust me, I can say I've been in that kind of shoes so many times because sometimes you feel like your parents sent you to school. Yes, you finish the school, then you decide that you want to do more, like doing furthering and doing masters and doing PhD. Like one of my doctor will always say, you going further in education, it's your own cup of tea. It's because of you want to do that. You're not being forced now. Society is not saying you do that. No, because once you just have that first degree, that's enough. But sometimes you have this degree, you start studying, and you feel like you lost, especially with in this situation, this time where it's difficult sometimes to get a job, sometimes, so you lose that purpose. So now what do we do in this kind of situation?
Yeah, it's important that we understand what is our purpose, because we all have it. God gave everyone a purpose, and for me, the easiest way to identify that is to know what you like, what you're attracted to. Let me just share a short story. I have my twin brother, okay, and when we were going to school, he so much he likes computers, he likes fixing laptops, mobile phones, internet connectivity. He's just into this tech space. Okay, and I found that very much fascinating and weird at the same time. Why is it that my twin brother knows a lot of stuff and I do not know this? And in fact, I do not even quite connect with him. So I begin to think about what is it that I like that doesn't bother me. And I know I like talking to people. I know I like talking. That's one thing I like. And when we were young, when once we caught up in a fight, when once they ask us to explain, I can explain better. And normally my mom would just say, "Sheku, you are wrong." So I know I have that in me. I am a very good communicator. And when I got to the university, I like debating again. So I knew that there was something that has to do with public speaking that I like. And it wasn't about teaching. I never thought about being a university lecturer. I never thought about it. But it's all part of the purpose that I have. So when I started teaching my colleagues, when I started going for debates and championships, I knew I liked it, and people understood exactly the way I communicate. They like what I said, and I started drawing closer to that path. So for me, every young person has that which is within them that they like. That's which you get yourself just attracted to it. Maybe it's cooking. A lot of us are very good chefs, but we do not venture into it. Some of us are very good artists. Some of us are very good footballers or soccer players. So it depends on what you feel like, or what's in within you that you can connect with easily. My twin brother doesn't like sports. When once I watch football, he doesn't like it. He doesn't understand the game. That's He's so much into tech space. He likes accounting. He likes economics, and I do not quite like all of those. So we all chose what we like. Okay, so as a young person, the very first thing is for you to know what you like. It's so important for you to understand what you like. And once you understand what you like, you need to develop it, because the talent doesn't come in the ready-made form. It needs to be sharpened, it needs to be dealt with very well, it needs to be looked at. So when once you identify what you like, there are ways to develop it further. You have mentors around. Now we have YouTube. You can go there, watch a lot of videos. You have books to read about finding your passion, your talent. So a whole lot of stuff. But it all starts with you identifying what is your purpose. It's so much important for you to know that. Once you know your purpose, then you can start developing it and start adding more value.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. At what level can you say this person has grown? You can say this person's action is well organized, or this person has conditions, is thoughts and actions.
Well, growth doesn't have a standard, because we continue to grow. It's just like learning. The day we stop learning, that's the day we die. So growth is just something that you can continue to go for the rest of your life. For me, it just goes with you adding value. Once you grow, once you have a positive mindset, you can also carry people along with you, because each one teach one, and that is very much important about growth. Once you grow in your mindset, in your decisions, it is important for you to also help others to be better decision makers, to be better players. If you're working in a team, how can you be a better team player? So you can always continue to add value, because you continue to learn, and the more you learn, the more you grow. There's no limiting factor to it, because the more we learn every day, the more we grow, the more we can add value to our country and our continent and the world at large.
Okay. So how can you tell that this person is as conditioned? You can look at the person and be like, okay, I love the way this person reasons. I love the way this person does things. So what level can you say that, okay, wow, this person has conditioned his actions? At what level? What are the things you can see in a person
Right.
that you can, yeah.
I think I like that. What are the things that you would say that this person has mastered? those aspects. Well, for me, one thing that I like is composure. Many a time we talk about emotional intelligence, right? And how we can make decisions based on our emotions. And someone who has mastered or who has grown in their mindsets can always they're very much emotionally intelligent. They are not moved by their emotions. Okay. And another thing again, the decisions that we make. Okay. When people have grown to the point that they have a positive mindset, the decisions they make, they're always prudent, they are always assertive. Okay. So that's another important thing. Again, we look at composure, decision making, also about adding value. When once you go, the fact that you become conscious about adding value to others means you have found a way of communicating your other ways. You have found a way of adding people or bringing people on your side. It's all about that. And sometimes when people go in their mindset, they think about leading others. The more you have followers, the more you have people inspiring people. Because sometimes when we talk about success in Africa, we think it's about the cars we drive or the houses we've built or the bank accounts we have. It's about the lifestyle you've touched positively, the people that you've helped develop their lives, the life that you've changed. So for me, when once people start moving to those paths, I know you have actually conditioned your mind and your actions are moving in a very prosperous way.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sam. Sometimes the way we think, it's not what comes out in our actions. We can think this way, and then when we act another way. It happens to so many people, especially we young youths, because it's a situation whereby you be like, okay, this is how I want to do this, but you get people that influence. So you can agree with me and to say that people can influence your thoughts. You
Big
know,
time, big time, yeah.
yes. So in that situation, in a situation whereby you make mistakes due to the kind of when you make the wrong choose the wrong thoughts and you make mistake, how do you retrace your step to doing the right thing? How do you get used to doing the right thing even though when you make mistakes?
Yeah. So making mistakes is okay for me. It's okay to make mistakes because we're not perfect, and for the fact that we're humans, it makes us not perfect. It's not about making mistakes; it's about learning from those mistakes. That's the point. And if you've not evaluated your mistake, you will never learn from it. Sometimes I tell students at university. There was a time I saw a student. She repeated the year, and the other day I saw her in the class. I said, "So you repeated the year?" And she was like, "Yeah, I repeated the year." And the things she was doing the previous year is the things she's doing now. And I said, "You've not learned from your lesson. You've not grown from your mistake." And this is something that you need to be conscious about. When once you make mistakes, you need to evaluate your decisions. If you do not evaluate your decisions, you cannot tell if you are improving or not. And that is important. As young people, it's okay to make mistakes, but what's important is how do we learn from those mistakes? Because when once we learn from those mistakes, we're not going to make them again. Okay, and when we venture into business, it's okay to make mistakes. It is from the evaluated mistakes that makes us better. All right. But by just saying we learn from experience, no, we do not learn from experience. We learn from evaluated experience. If you've not evaluated your mistakes, you can never learn from them. But when once you consciously, like we mentioned earlier on, you consciously evaluate the decisions you've made, whatever improvement you've made, whatever downfalls you've seen, you can easily learn from that. So as young people, it's okay to make mistakes, like I said earlier on, but it is much more okay for us to learn from those mistakes and grow from time to time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kevin. Viewers, we've heard so much from Mr. Kevin about how we how our lives are conditioned by how we organize our thoughts and our actions. And there's many more he still has to say, but let's quickly go on break. If you haven't subscribed to Clevernet TV, please click on that site, so sign up, and please sign up, put in your details and sign up on Clevernet TV, where you can watch movies, you can watch events, you can also put up your own events, and also use the platform to blog as much as possible. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Clevenard Business Matchmaker is an innovative social platform that delivers result-driven campaigns and marketing solutions for businesses in all sectors, such as law firms, restaurants, hospitality, real estate, medical finance, manufacturers, beauty, events, retailers. In fact, we are the marketing social platform for everything. A dating site for businesses matchmaking. At Clevenard, we bring together startups and more established businesses together, where you can find people who share your interests. Members can build their profiles, send messages, friend people, interact with each other, share interests, and much more. Take a minute to fill in your profile and tell the world about yourself. At Clevenard Business Matchmaker, we know that personalized online identity and business timeline are crucial to the growth of every business. We've designed Clevenard Business Matchmaker to help businesses to own a personalized timeline in just 2 minutes. Easy search functionality. The personalized timeline is designed to feature all your business ideas with complete search functionalities which help users navigate through all your listed services, products, or ideas for customers to contact you directly. Sign up today at www.clevenard.com. It's free.
Welcome back.
Is an innovative social.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope you can hear
Welcome,
me.
You're welcome, Mr. Kevin. What impact have you made on the youth so far
Say
over the
again.
years? I know you're a youth activist, so I want to find out what impact have you made on the youth over the years.
Well, yeah, I've done a lot here in Sierra Leone and in some other parts. Well, one of the things I'm actually engaging is mindsets changing. I do a lot around youth mentorship, speaking engagements. In fact, over the years, I've been one of the most invited speakers in Sierra Leone to a lot of events, youth programs. For me, the impact is how much young leaders I have helped in changing their mindset and how much all those young people have helped are helping now others. There are some youth organizations now I'm seeing now in Sierra Leone. I feel so proud because those head of youth organizations, I have actually mentored them and they see me, they call me mentor. Now they also have other kids they are mentoring. It feels so good. At least it's each one teach one thing. So I see that to be very much good as a great impact that I have created out there in the general population of Sierra Leone, and most importantly, the University of Sierra Leone. I have thousands of students, and anytime I get to a class, I make sure that beside what I teach them in class, I mentor them. I tell them about how important is the youth to Sierra Leone, to Africa, and how much we can change our country. So I think I'm doing a lot in that space.
Yeah. We thank you for doing a lot for the youth because to be honest, we can say my generation, I think we make a lot of mistake every day. I look at my generation and I'm like, wow. Sometimes I feel like I'm ashamed of the kind of things we youths we doing because we allow peer pressure and so many things to influence our emotions, influence our thoughts, influence our actions. That we end up doing the wrong things. You see kids that come from a good home, a very responsible home, but they just go out there and they become something else. And we can try so much, we're trying so much to pull them out, but it's as if the more we're trying, the more the people are also still doing what they like. And it's sad that our
Yeah.
generation could be like this. So, but we appreciate when we see people that are still trying to help the youth. We appreciate what you do. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so very much. I think you're also doing a lot.
Thank you so much. So, what advice, for us to just round up the this show, just what advice can you give to the youths, especially regarding how they can condition their mindset? Because that's very important. It's a powerful beginning on how we can help the youths of today.
Yeah, so for me, the advice I have to fellow young people in the continent is the fact that we have to strive to know in ourselves first. We live in a society that is so polluted. so corrupt, and we get to learn from those corrupt people that we see around us. So start by knowing yourself, meeting yourself, understanding yourself, and try to have a mindset that could make you different from others. And when once you have a mindset of that type, make sure that you also inspire others, help others grow. And there are a lot of ways you can do that. We have YouTube all over. You can go on the internet. Nowadays you have the social media which we're all concerned with now. But you can also go there to learn. Nowadays we only take snapshots to just show off. Please. I think as young people we should show the brain what we're capable of now, not to post on social media what others may just comment and we feel happy about that. And there are books to read, there are other sources in the internet that we can learn from. There are mentors all around the continent, even in our local spaces, in our countries, in our society. So get someone who is commendable, someone who has discipline, who has something to offer, who can teach you, who can make you better. And when once you have a better mindset as a young person, also try to inspire others and make others better.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kebe. I'm sure so many youths are watching this and they've learned a lot from all what you've said about reconditioning our and organizing our thoughts and our actions. And I hope they take into consideration everything you've taught today. I really appreciate. Thank you so much for coming into this show. It was nice everything you said to us. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so very much, and I also want to thank the producer and to you, Promise. I hope we'll connect a lot more after this stage, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in person and also learning from you too.
Amazing. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Viewers, I'm sure you've enjoyed this show, and I hope you just keep on watching Clevernet TV because there's so many more to come in on Clevernet TV. Thank you. Bye for now. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so very much.